SCP-1730 SCP Foundation. Special Containment Procedures. A circular perimeter has been established 2 km from SCP-1730, and a quarantine zone has been established 1 km from SCP-1730. Personnel who are to enter SCP-1730 must first undergo Class VII Hazardous Contact preparation measures, including the application of a modified, Maxwell-Harden, hazardous material reinforced airtight suit. The application of these protective measures may only take place at the Provisional Site-23 quarantine main gate. Individuals attempting to exit the quarantined area must first submit to thorough decontamination protocols as administered by the quarantine security staff. Individuals failing to meet the quarantine extraction parameters are to be held for further decontamination or, in the event decontamination becomes unfeasible, termination. Containment Update. Dangerous biological and cognito-hazardous entities have resulted in high casualties of security rescue teams. Mobile Task Force Zeta-9, Mole Rats, has been assigned to all current exploration efforts. Containment Update. Due to the events detailed in Exploration Log 7, all future exploration of SCP-1730 has been suspended indefinitely, pending Overseer approval. Containment Update 1 February 2016. Due to information gathered by Foundation surveillance teams, exploration and recovery efforts into Site-13 are no longer indefinitely suspended. Details will be available on a need-to-know basis. Assigned mobile task force units will be alerted by their superior officers. Containment Update May 15, 2017. Mobile Task Forces Apollo 3, Game Wardens, and Tau 5, Samsara, are activated and assigned to exploration of SCP-1730. See Addendum 1730.8 for details. Containment Update June 22, 2017. Due to the events detailed in Addendum 1730.9, SCP-1730 has been reclassified as neutralized. Additional research efforts are ongoing. Debriefing reports will become available as they are declassified. Description: SCP-1730 was a large complex of structures 15 kilometers northwest of the U.S.-Mexico border within Big Bend Ranch State Park that was discovered on June 5. Due to the isolated nature of the complex, and the low survival rate of individuals who come in contact with it, it is possible that SCP-1730 had been previously discovered but unreported. SCP-1730 bore identifying markings and contained documents to support the claim that SCP-1730 was at one point Foundation Site-13, originally located near Nome, Alaska. This conflicted with extant records, which showed that Site-13 was a project that, while intended to be constructed in Alaska, was scrapped for the larger and more advanced Site-19 and was never completed. Flora located on site was identified as native to the Alaskan region. How SCP-1730 came to be at its location prior to neutralization is unknown. SCP-1730 was, upon discovery, in a severe state of disrepair, and appeared to have been left abandoned for an extended period of time. The site power generator had continued to operate in a damaged state, despite a number of fuel leaks and fires throughout the facility. This resulted in intermittent power failures throughout the site, hindering exploration and rescue efforts. The origin of SCP-1730 is still unknown, as is the nature of many of the anomalous entities contained within. It is confirmed that the 2nd through 15th basement levels were utilized for entity containment, though the state of that containment had deteriorated significantly. It was believed that a contingent of human survivors existed somewhere deep in the lower basement levels of the facility. Messages written in English were discovered throughout the site, consisting of warnings such as "Danger" and "Death Here," and other messages such as "Not My Body" and "Bleed." A recurring message, "What happened to Site-13?" was found in several different locations in the basements. Several logs of data were collected by the remaining functional site terminals, the relevant data of which is contained in the addendums below. Worth noting is that inconsistencies exist between the logs and what has been determined through exploration, including site layout, staff makeup, and contained anomalies. Additionally, all logs are presented as they were in the original SCP-1730 documentation, prior to the neutralization of the anomaly. Addendum 1730.1, Recovered Log. Addendum 1730.2, Recovered Automated Message. Addendum 1730.3, Exploration Log Transcripts. Addendum 1730.4, Recovered Data from Power Station Terminal. Addendum 1730.5, Collected data logs. Addendum 1730.6, received audio transmission. The following audio transmission was picked up on monitoring equipment on the morning of February 1, 2016. The transmission, both speech and an encrypted signal that followed, has been repeating on a continuous loop since it was first detected. The contents of the transmission are accessible below. Addendum 1730.7, Updated Exploration Memorandum. In light of recent information gathered by Foundation surveillance teams, it has been deemed pertinent to once again send exploration and recovery teams into Site-13. By order of Overwatch Command, SCP-1730's containment procedures have been updated. Mobile Task Force Tau-5, Samsara, is currently under consideration for deployment. Details to follow. Addendum 1730.8, Exploration and Recovery Log Transcripts. Addendum 1730.9, Extraction Log Transcripts. Addendum 1730.10, Extraction Mission Debriefing Report.
Addendum 1730.1, Recovered Log. Access file serv:/s:1730/files/scilog1.log. Addendum 1730.2, Recovered Automated Message. Close file. The following message was recovered from SCP-1730's emergency warning system. Logs on file indicate that it was transmitted moments prior to a major electrical disturbance, and 3 minutes before an explosion within the site power relay. General notice. Site-13 has experienced a gross breach of containment systems. Cognito-hazard expunged, has breached containment during testing. On-site nuclear device is non-responsive. Thresher protocol has been activated. Life support systems, online. Electrical systems, offline. Fire control systems, offline. Flood control systems, offline. Reactor status, critical. Euclid class containment status, critical. Keter class containment status, compromised. Addendum 1730.3, Exploration Log Transcripts. Access file serv:/s:1730/exploration/log1.log. Access file serv:/s:1730/exploration/log3.log. Access file serv:/s:1730/exploration/log6.log. Access file serv:/s:1730/exploration/log7.log. Addendum 1730.4, Recovered data from Power Station Terminal. Close file. Graph.jpg. Image recovered from Power Station Terminal. Click image to enlarge. Dr. Hadley. As you can see, the power output to the Thresher device has been adjusted to your specifications. At your command, the reactors will surge to the full 55 gigawatts required to activate the device. Like I mentioned in our previous correspondence, the reactors will likely not survive this kind of power surge. The core dedicated to the body pit might, given its reinforced construction, but there will likely be significant damage to all the rest. Additionally, and you'll forgive me for speaking out of place since I'm not assigned to the Thresher device, but the device is still wildly unstable. The tests have been encouraging on smaller subjects, and it might someday be an applicable piece of technology, but at this moment it is only considered a measure for very final attempts. Utilization of the device could make local reality unstable here, as well as wherever the device ends up. In other words, I hope you know what you're doing. Best of luck. Engineer 242. Addendum 1730.5, Collected data logs. Close file. Dear Dr. Hadley, 340. We have received your communication, and thank you for taking the time to contact us. We have considered your request, but at this time we cannot approve any transfers. If you are at Site-13, you are there because of your superb level of professionalism and aptitude in your profession, and we cannot afford to have you anywhere else. You may speak to your site pharmacist about an amnestic regimen if you like, but we will not allow you to transfer from Site 13. As for your concerns about Director Emerson's mortuary protocol, we understand your complaints. However, you must understand that anomalies, especially those classified as humanoid, are not human beings. Human beings fall into a very specific category of non-anomalous life forms. Humanoid anomalies may appear to be human, but are simply humanoid. As such, they are not entitled to the rights and privileges afforded to human beings by the Ethics Committee. Our job as researchers is to identify where anomalies come from, and then to identify how to best utilize those anomalies for the benefit of mankind. We are protectors, and we cannot protect unless we know everything there is to know about the threat at hand. Once we have learned what we can learn, we neutralize the threat. If you have any other questions, please do not hesitate to contact our offices. Sincerely, Peter Grenwald, SCP Foundation Ethics Committee Chair, Global Occult Coalition Ethics Board Head. Close file. Test log. Entity 3421. Administrator, Dr. 1343. Test purpose, to identify Class 8 entities' ability to bend reality while exposed to dangerous conditions and to Scranton Mollius inhibitor device. Use of SCP to reanimate entity between tests. Test 1, exposure to temperature, 35 C. Result, entity loses energy, becomes less hostile. Extended exposure results in low external temperature and decay of skin layer. Entity expires after 1 hour of sustained exposure. Test 2, exposure to temperature, 150 C. Result, entity quickly succumbs to heat stroke. Body shows signs of burning across all surfaces. Organ damage as a result of extreme temperature. Entity unable to change reality to save itself. Test 5, submerge in water. Result, data not found. Notes, water seems to interfere with Scranton Mollius device. Test 13, exposure to electricity. Result, entity unable to save itself. Body no longer salvageable. Entity moved to body pit for incineration. Close file. 2. Engineer 242. From Engineer 129. Subject, control of hazardous toxins in reactor core. We're having some trouble controlling the waste backup in the pit. The runoff is supposed to be piped off-site, but it keeps getting sucked back up the air intake into the reactor. The stuff is seriously toxic. I don't want to send any of my guys in there to clean it up. Either we shut off the reactor long enough to go down there and clean it up by hand, or we're going to have a pretty serious issue here in a while. Close file. Data not found. Summary of events. Entity showed unwillingness to submit to further testing, and as such was swiftly terminated by way of electrocution. Entity moved to body pit for incineration. Noting here that additional orders have come in from Director Emerson requesting a full-scale termination of the entire humanoid wing. Those will be processed at your convenience, and we can begin to empty out those floors. Sincerely, Dr. 790. Close file. Cognitohazard expunged, has shown some tenacity, but will soon break under the mental pressure applied to it by the orators. This is not uncommon. Many entities arriving for their initial inspection will resist exposure to treatment in some way, but it cannot be sustained for the duration of their time here. Entity does have a particularly interesting effect on cognitohazard expunged, which leads me to believe that we could repurpose that aspect of the entity by removing the face, neck, upper chest area and arms, and applying it to a Mark 12 using the cognitohazard expunged. I will send this notice to Dr. 874 post-haste, and move forward with this project. Sincerely, Dr. 720. Close file. 2. Dr. Hadley. From Engineer 242. They took your blood leech boy down to the pit today. I made sure to alter his termination record accordingly, and made sure that output is still blocked up. I don't know what you've got planned for him, but that pit's pretty noxious now. It's not going to be good. Close file. Director Emerson. Before we get started, let me just say that the number thing was always bullshit. If you want to properly dehumanize your researchers, you put them in cubicles. The numbers were a joke from the beginning. If you're reading this, then you're left with a decision. What did you think was going to happen, throwing the bodies of anomalies into that pit? Did you think that their being alive made them anomalous? Hell, being alive is the least anomalous part of our humanity. I thought you might have seen that, but then, things have changed. The containment breach was my fault, I won't lie to you. In my research, I had the pleasure of analyzing a young boy. His name was Elijah. He subsisted only on blood, and he could siphon it through others with his mouth, right through their skin. Like a leech. He had no mental capacity beyond 2 years, and yet, he deserved the same chance to live as the rest of us. He did not choose to be the way he was. Then you decided to have him burned, like the rest of them. So I modified his record. The fires of your pit won't have incinerated him, just agitated him. And that sludge that's been building up? I'm glad you cared to get it cleaned up. I'm sure you're glad too. It's pretty awful down there. Anyway, your decision. The containment breach was inevitable, and whether it was something that crawled out of the pit that did it or my hand on a button makes no difference. You have a choice to make. Either stay your course and certainly be devoured by the creatures you have been torturing for the last 15 years, or activate the Thresher device and hope it dumps you out in a more hospitable reality than your own. Either way, our world will be rid of you and your filth, and will be better for it. This is your death camp, Elliot. You made your bed, and now you get to die in it. Sincerely, Hadley. P.S. Amazing how much can change in just a few years, isn't it? All because you were chasing a promotion. Incredible. I hope it was worth it. Oh yeah, and if you decide you want to talk this out, I'll be down in the basement with Elijah. I've got a nice warm spot for him to get set up when he arrives. You've made sure there will be plenty of blood,